The priorities have sort of moved on, but they're still in the same areas about trying to develop a free trade agreement. That was mooted a long time ago. In fact, first mooted when the MSG meeting was held on my freehold land estate in Walla Walla, where the Fijian ceremonies were held in the village of Mdakinwai. And the MSG leaders then went to meet in my home, my own copra shed, I called it. It's where we congregate with the workers, and then the leaders retreat in my home. We spoke about cooperation. We had Rock Wamitan, who was there yesterday as part of the FLNKS group. They were just starting the movement for the Kanakis of New Caledonia. We spoke of security arrangements. At that time, the posturing of the superpowers in the area was not very obvious. So there was no focus on that, but collective security and economic cooperation were on the top list of the agenda. Then later on, recently the emphasis has been on climate change, and we spent a lot of time on that. And part of the resolution on climate change was the growing concern for the discharge of the treated water from the Fukushima nuclear plant. Unfortunately, today is the 24th, and it's the D-Day as far as Japan is concerned. They might have started, they may not have started, but today was the day they said, not before the 24th. So to 24th, moving forward, they can be discharging some. And while we regret the fact that they've gone ahead before our own scientific team from the Pacific Islands Forum have come back, they are working on the result of the investigations carried out by the International Atomic Energy Agency. And based on that, I also made my statement, which was a unilateral statement I made some weeks ago. It ruffled up a few feathers in my own caucus and my own coalition, which was to be expected, because Parliament had passed a motion to ask Japan not to discharge the treated nuclear water into the Pacific. And the Pacific Islands Forum leaders retreat in Denarau earlier in the year reiterated that position, but also asked for continuing monitoring of the discharge into the Pacific, and that is written into the communique as far as our concerns for climate change is concerned. Another issue is our concern that the bigger powers, the bigger industrialized powers, are not, we find that they're not serious about the emissions target, particularly the Paris Agreement, targeting 1.5 degrees Celsius, which we believe is achievable, but some bigger powers are not totally committed to it. Perhaps it doesn't mean so much to them, and doesn't mean very much to them. For us, our very survival in the Pacific depends on whether we achieve that target or not, and maintain a reasonable level of carbon emissions into the atmosphere to ensure that we keep the phenomenon of climate change, the rising sea levels, the increasing intensity of cyclones, and that sort of thing. So we had to discuss those, we had to put our thoughts on paper as part of our communique and send it to the rest of the world. This is how concerned we are. And hopefully they will sit up and listen. And when we next meet at the next COP meeting, we will be very forthright in our request to the rest of the world to cooperate with us. I think it's more relevant now than before, particularly with the machinations of the bigger powers in the Pacific and posturing for position, the rivalry between China and the United States, and they're trying to polarize the Pacific into their own camps. So we have to be very certain that whatever we do, we are mindful of the collective need of the Pacific to be a zone of peace, a zone of non-aligned territories who are aware of this posturing and also aware of the rivalries. Hopefully that will not develop into military conflict or military jealousies that will see a build-up of military forces or weapons in the area. Mindful of our agreement, the Rarotonga Agreement, that we would like to keep the Pacific a nuclear-free zone.